Okay. All right, so we have the various opinions. Waiting for everyone to enter the room.
Right. Now I have you up really large on the screen, and then when you go off,
Yes.
then my picture will be large, right? Or do I have to enlarge it now?
No, you don't have to actually.
Okay. No one's in yet?
Yeah, we have 28 people with us. And
Oh, okay, great.
We just got the last few filing in, so we will start momentarily.
Yeah.
All right. I think everyone is in the room. So, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us for Heritage Month. Happy Heritage Month. I hope you like my virtual background.
Very nice.
And Bermudian resilience is the theme for Heritage Month. I think, given the type of year we've had, it's a very good opportunity for us to focus on our strengths and what makes us strong. Very happy to have Ronnie Chameau with us this evening. This is part of our Culture at Home series. And a very dear friend of mine, Mrs. Chameau, or Auntie Ronnie, as I like to call her, is also a very dear friend of my mother's. For those of you who don't know her, and I can't imagine that you wouldn't, but I'll do the proper introduction. She was born in St.David and currently lives in Pembroke with her husband, Michelle. In 1986, Mrs. Chameau revived the dying art of doll making. She handcrafts dolls from banana and palm leaves. And Mrs. Marie Gleeson inspired Mrs. Chameau, but unfortunately, she didn't pass her craft on to anyone. So Mrs. Chameau decided to preserve the art of doll making, which she continues to do to this day. She is one of our dearest tradition bearers. At Christmas time, she makes angels, nativity scenes, and hanging ornaments, all made from natural material. She has also built several doll houses that are furnished with unique collections of miniatures. Mrs. Chameau is active as a trustee in the St. David's Historical Society and the St. David's Islanders and Native Community, and has received numerous honors and awards for her beautiful artwork. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Ronnie Chameau.
And thank you.
And so I'll ask you all in the corner to shift to speaker view.
Okay.
That way you should be able to see Ms. Chameau's.
I love that Bermudiana.
Yes. For the others, they've shifted to speaker view, so they will be seeing your screen.
Oh, okay. That's my screen coming up.
So you can go ahead. They're seeing actually just your screen.
Are they seeing my screen?
Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. That's great. And good evening and welcome to my home via Zoom. This is so exciting. When I heard from Department of Cultural Affairs to participate in the Heritage Month, which I love to do, of course, with schools and so on. But unfortunately, with the COVID, we have to do our social distance and all of this. But wow, I was just saying to Dr. Kim Dismount Robinson, isn't this wonderful that we have found a way to communicate with people via Zoom and via FaceTime and whatever. This is incredible. It really is. So I'd like to welcome you here. And I'm sure with the banana doll making. Now, what I'd like for you to do is just take your notes, okay? It's a shame really that we couldn't have banana leaves for you to work with and all of that. But maybe, you know, one time that will happen. Dr. Kim Dismount Robinson was talking about me reviving this dying art of banana doll making. And this was a doll here that, I hope you can see it okay, that my parents had bought me when I was about 8 years old, and that's a Gleeson doll. And I've had it ever since I was 8 years old. So you can see how many years that is. And of course, look at it. It's still as good as ever. And the skirt is banana leaf. Her little shawl is crocheted from palmetto, and her hat is from the coconut palm matting. And these little flowers are the ones here that I collect every year from the Devonshire Marsh, and they should be out now, or they're just beginning now. And I go down and I just collect bundles and bundles and bundles of them and preserve them. So see how long this here was given to me in 1947, 48. And look at the flowers, they're still intact and everything. It's really incredible. So this is what started me off making dolls, okay? When I was working at Trimming Hands, and then I thought, wow, I said, I'm an artist. And I thought, wow, no one has really revived the dying art of this banana doll making or palm dolls. And then I thought a bright sort of light went off in my head. And I said, I'm going to call Mrs. Gleeson, which was the doll maker then, and ask her if she would give me some pointers or whatever. And she wasn't well then, I guess, and so on. She said, my dear child, I taught myself, so I expect for you to teach yourself. So I said, oh, okay, thank you. And I thanked her, and that was it. So I had one of her dolls. So what I did, I took this doll and I took it to pieces, one piece by piece, just to see how she made her doll. And when she crafted a doll, she used a leaf right here, a leaf from the sage bush. And it's like a T, and that's what she used. The head, she pushed this in the banana leaf. The head went on here, and this was the little arms that stuck out her doll. Well, when I first started making the dolls, I used to do this because, you know, I learned it from pulling her doll apart. And then I thought, once I had the dolls on the market and they started selling, I ran out of looking for lantana bushes and everything else. So I had to use skewers, the larger skewers, not the skinny ones like this, but the larger skewers. And that's what I pushed down in the banana leaf or the bodice. And then for her head, Mrs. Gleeson always had the walnuts for the head. And this is a walnut. Okay, I hope you can see it all. And what I do, I cut the walnut in half, and I just take the meat out, all the nut itself. I take it out because if you take this and put it on a doll, eventually little weebles or whatever will form inside, and it would eat down into the banana, and it'll cause a problem. So I take everything out, and it's all clean and nice. So that is one, well, there's two heads I got there. And I was in school with students one day, and I was showing them the walnut and how I use it for the dolls' heads and so on. This little boy said, Mrs. Chameau, how come your dolls look so old? So I looked at him and I said, what do you mean? And, oh, he says, they got all wrinkles in their face, which the walnut does have wrinkles. It's all sort of wrinkled and a bright, of course, a bulb went off. And I said, I think I got to use pecan nuts because they're nice and smooth and they look really good. So I went into the pecan nuts, and I have to get the ones that are larger. You can get smaller pecan nuts, but these are the larger ones. And then I drill a hole with my Dremel. I use a Dremel, not a sort of drill, because drills can be really dangerous. So my little Dremel, I use that, and it's really easy to like drill holes into the nut. And then I insert my skewer, and then that's a head beginning. Okay, so then what I do, I go to the banana patch every Sunday morning, and I look for leaves like this here. I look for leaves like this, and they're all sort of stripped, and I take these. This is going to be the base of this is going to be the base of the doll, okay? And what I do, I take the leaf and then I strip it. I pull it, okay? I pull all the leaves off. I pull it towards me. Take them all off, this here. And most times, one leaf will give me the full base of the doll, okay? Now this one here, I think is quite attractive. And I would use this probably for her blouse or her shirt, I should say. That one and this one. But the others I would just use for a base. Now this here I think is pretty good. I got the base of the doll. So I'm going to tie it with some raffia. The raffia I get from the DNA, if you I think you have to buy it online. If not, I get it from Michael's. And that's the Madagascar raffia, which is a very strong raffia. So I tie my leaves together, as you can see, like that, okay? And then I just cut them at the top here. And then I put a little sort of a bevel in the front, like this, so it could act as her bust, sort of. Then come down, hold the leaves together like this here, and then cut it across. And you have your base of your doll. See that? And then once you cut it even, and she will stand up. Now, once you've done that, you have to go and look for a banana leaf. This is your banana leaf, okay? I had to get a green leaf because there's no dried leaves that I could find all in one. So this part here would be for her hat. The center part is for her dress, and the ends are her arms, or the little sleeves that I would make. Okay, that's a green banana leaf, but your banana leaf has to be dry, which I have here. I found sort of a half a leaf. I'll show you this one. This is quite pretty, actually. This is the half a leaf, okay? So as I said to you, that this end here, I will cut it. This end I cut. This here is going to be her little hat. And the center part would be her dress, because I've got a nice big leaf here, a nice big one here, okay? And then the end part, as I showed you, the end, which would be here, the end part there, I cut them off, and these are going to be her sleeves. So I will start creating the doll. So first, I will put her dress on. I will start with her dress. And I usually start with at the back like this here, bring it around, and I gather the leaf around, right around until one end meets the other. And you'll have to put the seam at the back. See, the seam is at the back of the doll. You have to get all the little tucks and gathers all sort of even. There. All even, all nice. And what I do, I just do a little twist on the doll. And when I do the twist, you see how she has movement in her skirt? She looks like she's, the skirt has, she's like walking and the wind has her skirt. I tie it with raffia. Now this doll here, this here is, this is going to be, I'm going to sort of create it like my doll here. She's got a 3-tier skirt. You could do 1 tier if you want, which would be like this here. And then the 3-tier, I would take another, maybe I'll use this leaf, the pretty dark leaf. You know, you find when you go hunting for banana leaves, you can find the most beautiful banana leaves ever. And I'll put this one around. That goes around here. Okay. And then I will put another, a different color, maybe a lighter color probably, if she's got a dark skirt, and put another lighter color on. And that would go at the top, a contrast. Okay. There. And tie again, so you'll use quite a bit of raffia, that's for sure, because tie in and tie. Now with my palm dolls, I could stitch things, but with banana dolls, I cannot stitch. I have to use hot glue, but I try not to use too much hot glue because then I don't want glue seeing, like showing or anything like that. Okay, so then you've got your skirt. Look at that. Okay. So that's your doll starting with her dress. Now her head would have to go on. And for her hair, I use lamb's wool. Or you could use the matting from the Chinese fen palm, the beautiful red matting. You'll see it looks like sort of fibers coming out. You could use that. Now this is where I cut glue comes in. Oh. Oh, my glue gun is not working. Okay, I just have to wait until it just heats up a little. It does shut off if I have it on too long, which is really great. Okay, and then I'll be putting the hair on. In the meantime, I showed you the little end sleeves. Okay, these two pieces here. So what I do with these, I take and fold them like this here on a slant. Just keep folding and folding and folding. There until you get your cute little Victorian sleeve. See that? And if you do the two, folding, you know, after I do this, you should be able to make a doll, I'm sure. And then I will give you my email. And if you want to email me or whatever to ask questions, I'm game. You know, I will answer any question you want or show you what you would like to do. I do have classes making banana dolls at my home. And if you'd like to, you have to sign up with the Art Center in Dockyard and Heidi Cohen. And she organizes it all. And I try to help the Art Center out in Dockyard. Okay, I've got my two little arms, my two little leaves that are folded, which looks exactly like sleeves. Let's see if I got this glue going. Yeah, it's coming. Got my sleeves. Okay, and I just put them on the back here. Like this here. And I just put a little, sometimes I use a little pin or something just to pin them. Make sure you use small pins because you don't want pins to go right through and stick yourself on the banana. Okay, you've got your little leaves on it. Okay, let's see if I can get this hair going. Here we go. I just put a little glue on the nut. Put the lamb's wool around. And there she's got her hair. And then I just stick a little glue in here. So the stick doesn't come out and you just push it in. There. There. Push it in. And there you've got her head, her hair, everything is on. And then you'll notice, like when you push the head on with you and the stick goes in, some of your leaves may come down and it'll be uneven. So just clip them, okay? Just clip those off and then she'll stand up. Now we have to put a shirt on her. Okay, she can't walk down the street without a shirt on. In school, I use the word blouse, and they're looking at me and they're saying, but what's a blouse? I'm forgetting my age. And I said, well, the top, or they say top or a shirt. So what I do with this, I got some pretty leaves here, 2 leaves. I've cut 2 strips, okay, like this here. So what I do, I take the front part of the doll Okay, I'll put one leaf. Bring it over. Okay, and the other leaf, bring it over. And crisscross at the back. Hopefully you can see this. Crisscross at the back, bring it right down, right in the front, and you tie it. Tie it in the front. There. And she has her little blouse on, or her shirt, or her top. There she goes. And then I just take these pieces here, and you can sort of do whatever you want. You could sort of have them come down sort of fancy looking, and I'll just put a little glue on them just to stick them down to the skirt. And there. She's all ready to march out. But before she leaves the house, she's got to have her hat, her basket, and her umbrella. I designed my dolls in 1986, and I designed them of the ladies that you see on Front Street with their beautiful dresses. They always carried a basket for shopping, and they always had a parasol or umbrella, and of course their large hats because it was turn of the century. Another thing I do as well is the arms of the doll. I put the little sticks in, so then they can just push it inside, and they'll okay. And then her arms will automatically bend. They're really pipe cleaners, actually. I should have said that. It's not a stick. They're little pipe cleaners that I always use. You see, and her arms will just bend with a pipe cleaner. Now for her basket, normally, oh, well, let's put her hat on first. Now I had cut off a leaf for the hat. Now let's see what type of hat this is going to give us. So it has to be rounded like that, okay? And I usually start from the tall end up. I just gather it, and then I gather it around until one end meets the other. Then I put just a little glue on it. Whoever invented hot glue, my goodness, that is really something. Sometimes I burn myself, but so used to that now, after all these years doing dolls. So, okay, and she's got her little hat. And then I'll turn the brim off, like this here. Okay, and she's got her hat. And let's put this little hat on her. I just put a little glue at the top. And the hat will just, and you could just sort of put it on and, you know, do it all sorts of ways that, there. So she's really, really ready to go. She's got her hat. And of course, the basket. Now, I'm going to show you another way how to do an umbrella and a basket, okay? I collect the small coconuts from the ground when they fall from the tree, the baby coconuts like this here. It's a coconut flower and of course the seed of the coconut. And I take the seed out and I drill a hole in it and I insert a skewer. I'll put a little glue so it could hold. Then insert this. These are just little things that you could use. And that's our umbrella. Or I have the Dutchman's pipe, which is grown outside in the garden. They come like this here. It's a pod. It's a beautiful, I don't know if you could see this. I printed this off. It's a flower like the passion flower. They come into flower, and when the flower drops, it leaves a green pod, and the sun turns it brown like this here, and it just lasts forever. I cut the top off, take most of the seeds out. And if you ever attend one of my classes, I usually have little bags of seeds that I give the people that attend the classes, so then they can grow their own Dutchman's pipe. Now, what I use for the umbrella, the stick of the umbrella, is the date palm fronds. See these date palm fronds? So the smooth part I'll use for the umbrella. And sometimes I'll use it for the base of my doll too, to put the nut on it and then push it in the doll. The wrinkly part of the date palm frond, I take and turn it like this here. Okay, and that's the handle for the basket. Like that. Which is really unique. I can't find my little flower. Where's my flower? Right here. See, that's the flower. I took the seed out and it looks like a little basket. So I just take that, put my little handle on it. And she has her little basket. So I got a basket and an umbrella from the coconut palm. And I got the umbrella from the Dutchman's pipe palm. This is the umbrella from the Dutchman's pipe. As you notice, the smooth part I've used for the handle of the umbrella. Okay. And then a basket. So with my doll, I wove the basket from banana leaf. Okay. There, and she has a Dutchman's pipe umbrella. To weave, I just take a leaf, a straight leaf like this here, and I will split it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spokes. Whenever you split the leaf like this, it becomes spokes when you're weaving. Because I do a lot of palmetto weaving as well. Okay, I'll do, let's see how many I've got here. So it's like fronds like that. So then for weaving, I go over 1, under. I'm going to do this rather quickly. It's a bit difficult to see on the then take the other one and go over. It's over and under until you get all the spokes on one side. Over, under, and over, over and under, and over. Okay, so now I've got the spokes on one side. I got this one sticking up. You don't bother with that one. Then I have to bring these back over on the other side. So under, over, and under. And you just keep going until you weave all the spokes together, until they're all woven in. And I love weaving with banana leaves because you give it's such beautiful colors. And you'll see the colors, like when I finish, you'll see the pretty colors of the woven banana leaf. As you can see in this one here, that's quite dark. But this one here is sort of red and different colors, which is really pretty. There. There and there. See, and then at the back on that, then I have to bring these back again. Sometimes it's a bit sort of boring, but it's sort of relaxing because you're sort of concentrating on the weaving, and the time just flies with the weaving. And once you've done this weave, you could probably do any type of weave that you're, wanting to do. And I revived the dying art of palmetto weaving because that's died off as well. And of course, that was our little cottage industry in the 1700s when the ladies in Bermuda used to weave with palmetto. And that was really quite something. If you visit Carter House at any time, you'll see all the palmetto weaving. And some of it is like 200 years old. It's really incredible. And I just put a little glue on here just to lock this together so it won't fray, and clip it. And I've got my little woven basket. Look at that. And I could just turn it, fold that in. I know I have a glue stick around here somewhere. Funny, you put everything together, and then when you look, you can't find, here it is in the floor. Just glue that a little. And then I take and join my little basket together. It's turned out pretty nice. Look at that. See that? So what I do, I just turn in the bottom part just a little, about 1/8 of an inch or something. Just turn that in just a little so I can put the hot glue on it. Okay, I turned it in and I just put hot glue around. And make the bottom of the basket. So it's a round basket. Some of them make oblong baskets, triangle baskets, or whatever, but this here is just a basic round shopping basket. And I just put that off. There, and you've got your little basket. See that? And we're going to put some flowers in the basket. As she's she's not shopping, I don't think. She's going to the garden to pick flowers because these are all the cottage cottage garden flowers that I have picked from my garden. These here, as I said to you, I forget the name of them. I just called them the Devonshire marsh flowers, and they come out in April and they'll stay until the end of July, August, little white flowers, okay? And then I have the trembling grass, which is out now, and that is all. They come out, that comes out in May. It looks like little miniature oats, and that comes up wild on the lawns. I do that, and I tie it together. And this here is dried Bermudianas. I take the Bermudianas when they dry, and they're going to seed, and then I pick them, and then I shake all the seeds out right back where they were growing, so then they can come up again next year. And then this here is the dried Bermudianas. Putting all of these together, and she's gonna have a beautiful little basket. And at times I put flowers around their hats or whatever you feel. You know, once you make your doll, and then you can add so much to it, you know. Look at that. Now, I don't think I have enough of the crinkly from the date palm. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to braid a leaf, and that's going to be for the, there we go, leaf like this here. I'm going to braid this. Just 3 spokes for braiding. And for me, I have to use my teeth, sorry. And I will just braid this on. And this is going to become the handle of the basket. So it's entirely banana leaf. You know, and our dolls here in Bermuda are so unique because they're made entirely from banana leaf and palm leaves. Like other countries, they make the dolls, but they use plastic dolls and then they dress them, which are quite pretty. But Bermuda, where the everything is natural. The head is a nut and whatever. We don't have any man-made, only the glue is man-made. Okay, I've braided that, cut that bit off, and I've got my little handle. See that? A braided handle. And that I'll just put a little glue, push in here. And then on the other side. And she's all ready to. Here we go. And funny enough, I always put her basket usually on the left-hand side, maybe because I'm left-handed, I don't know. I just fold her little arm like that. See? She's holding her basket. Well, that's it. And then for her umbrella, I think I'll put the Dutchman's pipe pod for her umbrella. I just put a little glue on the tip, push it into her arm, and there. She's all ready to go out and visit. How's that? So that's the doll completed. So it took me almost an hour. It's 10 minutes to 7. Now we have a Q&A, if possible.
Thank you so much, Auntie Ronnie. That was amazing. I think I'm just looking at some of the comments that have come in through the chat.
Right.
And, people are saying how beautiful it is, what a lovely demonstration and a beautiful natural doll, and also how easy you make it look. Just from the point of view of practicing,
Yeah.
how
It's 1986. It should be, huh?
for somebody who would just be trying that on their own, I suspect it would probably take a bit longer than 45 minutes. How long do you think it would actually take for
No,
someone?
when I have classes here, well, my classes usually are 3 hours. They start at 10, and most of the students here, they finish around 11:30, about an hour and a half, because they like to try different things, and then I show them other things to make and all of that. So about an hour and a half it'll take to make a doll like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
A
With
question-
instructions from me or whatever.
Yes. Okay. Question from Hannah Collins. Where can we find the Dutchman's pipe plants?
Well, the Dutchman's pipe is grown in private gardens, like I have them growing here, because when I was little coming up, like seemed like all the grannies had them in their gardens, all the Dutchman's pipe pods. And there's quite a few people that have them growing, because people still bring me like pods, which I really don't need because I have quite a few here. So, but I have seeds and so on, and just throw them in a little pot or whatever, and then they come out. They're quite easily to grow.
There was a question someone needed for clarity. What was the name? What kind of flower was it? The one that you said looked like oats?
Oh, we call it trembling grass, and it's miniature oats. They're up now. If you look at different lawns without being cut, and you'll see the little fine, they look just like little miniature oats, and they call it trembling grass because when the wind blows, it just, it looks like it's trembling along the lawns. It's wild. It's wild. It's not, anything that's planted. They just come up every May. Every May they come up everywhere. So for me, it's like trial and error when I have to find all these things, and
do you clean or soak the leaves?
yeah, the leaves I usually go and I get them mostly Sunday mornings, and in the summertime before the sun comes up really strong, try and get the leaves when they have the dew still on them, and then you can see the colors and so on. And I pick the leaves and bring them home, and I take boiling hot water and I pour all over them outside, and then I'll take and wipe them off until they're nice and clean, that it's no creepy crawlers or anything on them. But sometimes I'll spray them with a little I use Bop. I don't know if anybody knows Bop, the spray. I don't like to use Baygon or anything because it's dangerous around my animals. So, and use that, or sometimes it's just boiling water that will kill any of the little mites or spiders or anything on them. And then I just wipe it off. I used to take, and when I first started, I used to take and spray them, and then I would put them in the oven and bake them for about an hour, but on very, very low, like really, really, sort of like a warmer. And that kills anything. But if you put hot boiling water, pour that over them, that's fine as well. But make sure they're dry before you pack them away, the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And I cut my leaves and I strip them. I cut them for my doll skirts like that. Then I'll take this part here for the little arms, the little sleeves. And then this here would be a sleeve. That's a skirt. The little one like this here, that will be a little skirt for my angels. Sure. So I cut them all and I store them in baskets hanging in the studio. So when I sit down to make a doll, it's an assembly line. So I have my I have my bodice all done, like I pull the leaves, tie them together. I have those all done. I have my heads all drilled and put the nuts on and all of that. I could do about 10 dolls in about 4 hours because I've got everything prepared. That's why. But if I had to go from scratch, it would take me like a whole day to do one doll.
Okay. You sort of answered this in the previous question. There was a question about how do you dry out the banana leaves and the flowers?
Right. Well, I don't dry the banana leaves. I collect them dry, but they cannot be too dry. Now, if you look at the banana patches, if you're going through the banana patches, you'll notice all the leaves look like that because of we've had so much wind during the winter months and so on. So what I do, I collect all of these now, okay? I collect all of these leaves and I pull them and I tie them in bunches, and that's my base of my doll. So that would give me sometimes 100 bases, if I do it now. And then when May, June, July comes, then the big leaves start to form like these. A whole leaf like this would turn brown. And then I will cut that and bring home. And of course, I got my hat, my sleeve, and the bottom, the center part is my skirt. And sometimes you can get some huge leaves. But that will happen May, June, July, August. And they're beautiful colors. Really gorgeous.
We have a live question from Linda Bourne. Ms. Bourne, I'm just gonna allow you to talk on the directly.
You hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I used to live near you up Pembroke Park. I'm Mr. Smith's daughter.
Oh my gosh, Linda, yes.
Yes. So,
Oh goodness. Oh, it's so nice you tuned in.
yes, and we
I'm
are.
sitting right here and looking at your dad's house.
Yeah, and we are an hour behind you. And I missed the beginning of the show.
Oh no.
Oh, I was so upset. But anyway, I've been watching what you've been doing because we have bananas on our properties.
Yeah,
Banana
you live in
trees.
Somerset, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did a workshop with you years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
And so hopefully my little head will remember something, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as I say, if anyone is interested, you could sign up through the Art Center in Dockyard. Heidi.
Yeah, but I'm in Barbados.
Oh, you're in Barbados. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so
And
I
do classes here.
Yes, yeah. But anyway, it's a good thing, and I really enjoyed what I did catch of the class.
Yeah. Do you have lots of banana trees down there?
Yes, well, we have run about 8 on our property here.
Yeah.
And so I said I've got the basis so I can catch on. But some of the things that what you would use for the head.
Yeah. So you could use a nut, or you could use paper mache, like make your own heads or whatever. But nuts are better.
Yeah.
They're easy.
And I will find things around because there's lots of different.
Oh gosh, there's all sorts. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And try to do it. But anyway, thank you again.
And thank you for tuning in.
Yes. And I was so annoyed with myself. I said, oh no, I'm missing it.
What, you couldn't tune in, or?
No, we are an hour behind you. So
that's right. Yeah, absolutely.
I should have come on at 5 o'clock down here,
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me until 5:30.
Oh gosh. I didn't miss too much.
Yes.
You saw the base, the making of the doll.
Right, right. But
Yeah.
anyway, I enjoyed what I did see.
Thank you, Ms. Bourne.
Yeah,
What I'll do
thank
is as
you.
well, because there were a couple of other people who asked, for those of you who aren't aware, we have some years back, actually, the department created a film featuring Mrs. Chameau, and it's on our YouTube channel. So I will pop that into the chat so that you guys can look at that at your leisure as well. Another question, well, this is actually, you had started to answer this, Auntie Ronnie. The question is, how do we sign up for classes and how many students are typically in a class?
Right. I usually take 6 because that's all I can handle here, you know. 6 to 8, I usually. And you come and you all sign in. Of course, with the COVID, you sign in your emails or whatever, and mask and so on. But hopefully, when we go back to the classes, we won't have all of that. So you just come over and have a good time. So which is nice. And their class is 3 hours from 10 until 12. And we have coffee and tea and water we serve. And we have a little luncheon as well after.
And
All-
sign up for the arts,
all
I'm
thrown
sorry,
in.
Art Center Dockyard, yes?
Art Center, you have to go through the Art Center in Dockyard. Heidi Cohen, because she's the one that organizes it and does payments and all of that. Yeah, I don't have nothing to do with that.
Okay, thank you.
But it's always sold out.
Here's a very good question. Does Uncle Michel know how to make the dolls?
I don't think so. But I tell you what he does do. He does all my boxes. He folds my boxes and he puts the labels on the boxes and he packs the dolls for me when I have a large order, and he packs everything and helps me to deliver. Yeah, so he does his little thing.
Excellent. Okay, I never thought to ask that question before. It was a really good question from Kaylin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you make boy dolls?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. I had one upstairs, but I think I sold it about a year ago. I've had it for years because it's in the film, you know, the Folklight film.
Yes.
And he's sitting there with his little hat and his jacket. Yeah.
And it had very nice stripes on it. I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. Little
Usually
pinstripe.
pinstripe, right?
There's a banana leaf, see, with a pinstripe. See that?
Yeah.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Yeah.
And his jacket was, I call him a zouk suit. Yeah.
Let's see, there's a question about what are the essential elements of an authentic Bermuda banana doll? Is there anything that you could add that would make it not a Bermuda banana leaf doll?
Well, you could add sort of a plastic head or something, and it won't be a Bermuda doll. But we are so fortunate here in Bermuda, and we should be very proud that we do have our own identity doll. There's nowhere else in the world that has dolls like this. And thanks to Mrs. Gleeson and other ladies that started making them, you know, way back 1800s. Mrs. Gleeson started, I think, 1930s, making these dolls. And of course, the idea, where did it come from? Africa. The ladies used to make dolls for their children, you know, out of grass and reeds and all of that, nuts for their head. And of course, with slavery, it all came to United States. And then they made dolls in the cotton fields. They had cotton for the hair, and they had the reeds, and they used to weave their little baskets. And they used to also knit their little shawls. They used to have little shawls on. They would knit from the reeds. And they created, and of course, the idea came to Bermuda again. I guess slaves come into Bermuda, and the Bermudians picked it up. And they used to, in the deep south, they used tobacco leaves for their skirts and cotton for their hair. But when the idea came to Bermuda, we didn't have tobacco leaves, so we used banana leaves, and that's how it all came about. And that's back in the late 1800s.
Okay, great. Let's see. Trying to see. Someone had asked what the cost is for the classes.
I think it is, I'm not quite sure, $50 for member of the Art Society or $55 for non-members. And that includes 3 hours of your doll making or whatever class is coming up, because I do basket weaving as well. And I do Christmas ornament making as well. So whatever classes come up, so it's 3 hours, and then you have your little lunch served after. And you sit and you meet some really nice people. I always have really nice people put together. Nice ladies. Haven't had a man yet.
Maybe after this webinar.
Maybe. That would be something, yeah.
All right, just checking to see. Kaylin Burrows wants to know if you remember the angels that you made together for Christmas.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. And Kaylin's made a doll, actually, haven't you, Kaylin?
We also have a comment from Shirley Kelly that she's from Ghana and grew up making dolls from the stalks of the ripe bananas. We pounded the
Yes,
stalk.
that's right. Yeah, you
to make
could.
the
Yeah.
hair. Yeah, and the juice.
Exactly, from the stalk. And then some ladies here used to make them from the bark, from the banana tree, you know, like I do the seams from the bark, and they used to make dolls from the bark.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
you could anything, you know, and then of course my palm dolls, they're made with the palmetto, and sometimes I use Chinese fen palm, and then I use matting from the coconut palm. So all of that is a complete palm doll. And they're really beautiful, but harder to make, mind you. You've got to really, that would take about, for me to have a class would take all day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You've sent those overseas as
Yeah,
special
because
gifts, haven't
our
you?
queen has one. Remember,
Yes.
the Cultural Affairs sent the doll off for her diamond jubilee.
I remember.
Yeah, and a lady from Barbados was visiting Buckingham Palace and went to the gift room and saw this doll from Bermuda, a palmetto doll. Now that was pretty neat.
Excellent. Okay, I'm just looking in the chat and in the Q&A, and I'm not seeing any more questions. There's a lot of messages of appreciation, however. There are a number of people who said, having done your classes, I didn't expect to learn so many new things, and it was, as always, a lot of fun. Thank you for your presentation. Susan Panchard says, I still have my little baskets you taught me to make many years ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so lots of appreciation from the people who were listening in on the webinar.
Thank you all so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of years, you know, trial and error, and because I had no one to teach me, really. But you know, nowadays you could go on YouTube, and then for weaving especially, and you can learn about different types of weaving that you could do or anything. But I've never really found dolls on YouTube, folk life dolls.
Well, maybe that might be a webinar for the future. Maybe we can do, because I know that we've offered classes in the past on weaving with cedar bark and different materials.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be incredible. Yeah.
Let's definitely talk about that, because there seems to be a lot of enthusiasm for this.
It is, and especially with the shutdown, everybody's looking for adventures. But within home, you know, you can't adventure out.
Well, I think at this point, everyone who has tuned in is very clear on why you're one of our absolute favorite tradition bearers.
Thank you.
You've always been so generous with your knowledge, and I think that's something in particular that everyone appreciates, to have this very high degree of skill to be able to make things that are so beautiful, and to also be willing to share that. So it becomes such
always share. You can't take it with you.
Yeah.
because that's when it's all lost, isn't it?
Well, we appreciate you, and we're
Thank
looking
you.
forward, hopefully, to do another webinar soon in the future.
Yeah, that would be nice. Looking
Great.
forward to it. And thanks for having me on. I was really excited.
We've enjoyed our Culture at Home series, and
Yeah.
for all of you who may not be aware, we've got a mini float competition going
I
on.
saw it on Facebook, the little Montel Tower.
Yes.
Yeah, is it? Oh,
Dr.
it
Smith,
is
yes.
gorgeous.
So that's one of the other activities we have going on for Heritage Month, and so I
Yeah.
would encourage everyone to visit our Facebook page. And
Yeah, I was on it today. Yeah.
yeah, despite some of the challenges of the pandemic and being at home, there are still
Exactly,
ways that we can celebrate being Bermudian, and this is a perfect example of
it's
Bermudian
a
resilience.
perfect example. Look in your garden, see what you could find, and and make different things.
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you so
all
much.
natural.
And thank you so much. And wishing everyone a happy Heritage Month.
Yep, and same to everyone. And hope everyone will have a really, really good month.
Excellent. Have a good evening, everyone.
Don't forget to watch the marathons.
Have a good evening.
And you.